Shout out to G-Man Boxing. Where's the piss bottle? It's over there.
Alright, people. This weekend we have Craig Richards versus Joshua Buatsi. Now, I was planning on doing a live watch along for this, but I didn't realise the undercard was as dead as it is. It's a really weak undercard, and I'm just not compelled to do a live watch along for this because there's going to be fights that I'm just going to have no interest in, and it's going to be just me sitting there waiting for the main event. I'm going to do reviews for just the main event and Alan Babbage. So the next watch along we do will be the Tank Davis fight. That's going to be a late one, push your luck. We'll do it anyway. In terms of this fight, I like this fight. I think that Joshua Buatsi, I remember when the Rio GB team, all turned over. The majority of them went with Eddie Hearn. And out of all of them, Buatsi was the only one who was really highly touted. It wasn't the strongest GB squad that they've ever had, the Rio squad. And Buatsi was the one guy who people really kept an eye on when he turned pro. Now, I have to say, his career, it's been very slow. It has to be said, it's been very slow. I mean, they've really kind of taken Joshua Buatsi at a snail's pace almost. And a part of me wonders, is there something there with Buatsi that they're trying to hide? With Buatsi, he's a very imposing figure. He's quite a calm individual. He's not someone who shows much emotion. This is not someone, in and outside the ring, like a Conor Benn, like a Deontay Wilder, who's very emotional. This is just someone who is stoic. He's really like Terminator. He's just like, he wants to go in there, cause destruction and go. And his complex never changes, demeanor never changes. Very stoic character is Joshua Buatsi. And I think a very talented fighter, extremely talented. But again, his career has been just very, very, very slowly. I would say his best win at this stage would probably be... See, you could go between Bolotniks and Kalik. I think that Marco Kalik would beat Bolotniks. I think he gave Joshua Buatsi, even though he didn't last as long, he gave Buatsi a much harder fight. He really did. And I see Kalik's style, because Kalik was a lot bigger than Joshua Buatsi. Joshua Buatsi is not the biggest light heavyweight in the world. And I see Kalik's style. Craig Richards is not that similar per se, but he has attributes that I believe can give Joshua Buatsi some big issues. Now, this is kind of being built as Joshua Buatsi's first taste at world level. In reality, Craig Richards, I would say, is kind of fringe world level, European level type of fighter. Like, don't get me wrong. In many ways, in many people's eyes, he done a better job in losing to Dimitri Bivol than Canelo did. In many people's eyes, the scorecards for that fight were very close. Well, two of them were anyway, and I was a bit of a scratch in the head. I think you could really, being very generous, maybe give Craig Richards 3 rounds in that fight. Being generous, maybe very generous, maybe 4. Very generous. But for the most part, Bivol won that fight pretty comfortably. He just kind of cruised that fight. He could have really gone for it if he wanted to, but he just cruised it. So I see this fight as being kind of a long overdue domestic scrap for Joshua Buatsi, and a kind of taste of fringe world level. I do think that if he had fought Maxim Vlasov back in December, that he would have lost. I really do. I think that they really did I think Eddie Hearn realised, hang on a sec, we're pulling the gun way too fast. Because Vlasov, I mean, he really, that could have got real ugly real quick for Joshua Buatsi. So I think that this is decent enough matchmaking at this time. And, Buatsi, it's a real case of what does he do for me. I mean, they were talking about Bivol at one stage. I mean, that I wouldn't like to see. But for his sake, because I don't think he'd have much chance against Bivol. But you do kind of wonder, what's the next logical step? Would they try and get the Vlasov fight over the line if Joshua Buatsi is successful? We'll have to wait and see. I want to give a detailed breakdown of this fight, and I want to talk about what both guys do well, and also little mistakes that both guys have, and how each guy can exploit them. Now, I'm going to start with Joshua Buatsi. Take a look specifically at Buatsi versus Kalik. Now, I wish I could get these clips a little bit longer for you. I ran a little test on these on the True Crime channel, and a couple of these got flagged because they were too long. It is what it is. But these clips They said, okay, they're not long enough, you can get away with them. It is what it is. I'm going to show this clip probably twice. So have a look on screen. This is against Marco Calic, and this is the end of the second round. Now, it's literally just a highlight of Buatsi getting clipped. But have a look at some of the things he's doing. Alright, so we'll have a look at this on screen. So, Buatsi getting hit with a 1-2. Right? Now, first thing foremost is, yes, getting hit with a 1-2. As you can see there, no real head movement. Calic doesn't really land clean with the right hand, it has to be said, but look at where Buatsi's hands are placed. So see it there, he has his hands down low. Alright, I'm going to play this one last time, have a look at the way his hands are, and have a look at the jab. So he's throwing the jab down from already down low, and he's already in punching range. So have just a quick look, hands down low, tries the jab, but he's already in range, and it's a free target for Marco Calic. Now, Craig Richards, Spider, being his nickname. Why is he called Spider? Because he's a very kind of, what's the word, lanky kind of, he's not really the lankiest, I've seen worse, but he's very long, got long reach. Now, if Buatsi plans on trading and doing that and trying to, have the jab and hand down a little bit low and then trying to jab up with that, he wants to make sure he's not in range, because Craig Richards, one thing I've felt about Richards is that he does tend to lack a bit of the killer instinct, but Craig Richards definitely can punch. If you see some of the knockouts he's had and the way he's been able to hurt certain people, or certain fighters I should say, he definitely has power there. I think with Craig Richards it's deceptive power, because he's really kind of a kind of cool, mellow character. He really doesn't, I don't want to say he's too nice. No, he definitely has a bit of, when push comes to shove, he definitely does show a little bit of fire, but I think he kind of people look at him, maybe don't think he's as big a puncher as he is. I definitely do think he is. And look again here, look at that clip there, right hand goes in from Marco Calic. Buatsi's doing quite good work there. Like, he is missing, to be fair, he is missing, but he's looking to switch it up from head to body. You'll see now a body shot kind of go in there. Look at that, swings and it misses with the body shot as well though against Calic. And that's one other thing about Joshua Buatsi, I have to say. His punch selection is quite good, but at times when he misses, he can be a bit, when he misses, he can, as you saw with the hook, he can kind of really just crank into it, and he can leave himself exposed to be punched. You saw in that Calic fight, Calic was able to counter Joshua Buatsi very well, because Buatsi, one thing I've always felt about Buatsi is that his defense is not his strongest point. He can be very stationary. I wonder with Joshua Buatsi, if a fighter really put it on him, would he be overwhelmed? Because I don't really see Joshua Buatsi as someone who could punch with a fighter. I see Buatsi, if he was in a situation where a fighter was trying to maybe outwork him or really putting it on him, I see him as a fighter who could potentially get himself overwhelmed. Because I have that just feeling when I look at the way he just stands upright, when he gets hit with certain shots, there's no real head movement. And I wonder if a fighter really did put it on Buatsi, in a sense that they tried to outwork him, they really just tried to get him in the centre of the ring and just open up some combinations. I would be surprised if Buatsi would punch with them. I really would. Now, Craig Richards is not really that type of fighter. He's not really, so I don't know necessarily if I could see him doing that. And one thing about Craig Richards, which we have to notice as well, is that his balance and the way he can board in with shots, and that this is something that Joshua Buatsi should be able to exploit. Have a look here on screen. Whoa, swing and a miss from Craig Richards. Look at that. That was against Dimitri Bivol. He's seen that shot coming. And yeah, really bad swing and a miss from Craig Richards. I think I have a slow-mo of it here. I'll see if I can get it for you up here. Where is it? Thought I took a slow-mo replay of that, but we'll just look at the real clip again. Just look at that. Swing, miss, way out the way. Just way out the way. And that leaves him in punching range. Obviously leaves him off balance. He has to reset himself. So Craig Richards, he can bore in with shots at times. He can make those little mistakes. Against some of the opponents he's fought, he can really get away with that. Because at the end of the day, a lot of the guys he's fought, no disrespect to them, if Craig Richards gives them an opportunity, they're normally not able to take advantage. Joshua Buatsi will take advantage straight away. Now, here's the one major flaw I see with Craig Richards that I think Joshua Buatsi will definitely be able to exploit, and it's something that Craig Richards definitely, if he's watching this video, needs to address. He needs to tighten this up. So I want you to look at this on screen, and I want you to see if you notice what I'm talking about. It's in the Dimitri Bivol fight. Just look there on screen. So Richard's jab, using his long relievers, nice quick jab. Do you see what the issue there is? What's he doing with that jab? He's popping that jab out, and it's a good little jab, it's fast. But what's he doing? Where's it coming back to? He's bringing it down low. Open for a right hand counter. Have a look at it in slow motion. Look at this, right? Jab, down low. Jab, down low. Let's say jab again, down low. Bringing it right down. And again, let's see. Oh no, it doesn't do it again. Ends there. But there's 3 times he's done it against someone like Dimitri Bivol. And that could be a habit. So they're the only clips I have. But that is a major issue against someone. Because Joshua Buatsi has a very good right hand. And the right hand for Buatsi is going to be key in this fight. We've seen him, and we've seen Joshua Buatsi counter very well with that right hand and drop people with that right hand. You know, I can't remember the French fighter's name he fought. His name escapes me. He fought him, I think, last May he fought him, and he got knocked out pretty quickly. But it was a right hand, I believe, that put him down. Joshua Buatsi has a lot of power in that right hand, and if you're Craig Richards, your advantage is that jab. You know, at long range, you're going to give Joshua Buatsi fits. But if you're bringing that if you're bringing that left jab down too low, and Joshua Buatsi is in punching range, and he's able to counter, best believe he's going to be able to counter you. And best believe that right hand is going to land. And Joshua Buatsi is accurate. He hits very hard with that right hand. He's very fast with it. And I can easily see that being the key in this fight. Richard's jab being a key to success, but that little habit he has of bringing the jab down low, that could also lead to his downfall in this fight potentially. I see this fight going late, I really do, but I can also see this fight ending early in Buatsi's favour. The reason why I say that is because Richards at times in his career, apart from a few fights like against Jake Ball, but he's so chinny, I mean, a slight breeze could have knocked him out. Craig Richards normally tends to kind of warm his way into a fight and tend to come on stronger in the mid rounds. But Buatsi tends to come on early and can come on late as well, as we saw against Bolotniks. But Richards is going to want to be careful early on. He's going to want to use that jab, and as I said, bring it back to the head. Don't be bringing it back down low, giving your opponent the chance to punch and counter, because I think that is exactly what's going to happen. I think this fight's going to go late. I think Richards maybe will adjust if he takes a couple of right hands. Might even get dropped early on from Buatsi in this fight. But I do think he'll have success keeping Buatsi at range. But I think Buatsi can switch up his attacks to head and body very well. He has decent speed. I'd say he would be faster than Craig Richards. Just from the eye test, he seems to be a bit quicker of hand and foot than Craig Richards. And I think that's going to tell late on in this fight. My pick for this fight is a Joshua Buatsi late stoppage, and I think the stoppage is going to come from a right hand. I think Craig Richards is going to drop that left hand a little bit too much, and he's going to get countered with a right hand and taken out. That's why I think. I don't know if it's going to be a one-punch knockout per se. I think it might be just the case if he's dropped and accumulative then thereafter, set up by the right hand from Joshua Buatsi. For Craig Richards, he's going to want to look at what Joshua Buatsi is doing wrong, because Joshua Buatsi has a tendency to hold his hands down low, square himself up a little bit, stands a bit upright at times. If you're punching with him, I don't think, or if you're punching, opening up on him, I don't think he's going to really, it doesn't strike me as someone's going to punch with you. So I think they're good keys that Craig Richards needs to take. But ultimately, I see Craig Richards losing this fight via stoppage late, and Joshua Buatsi winning this fight. That's my pick for this fight. Let me know your thoughts. For some reason, I thought I got all the clips I needed. Obviously, I misjudged and didn't save a few of them. But you get the gist of it. You get the gist of some of the strengths and weaknesses both guys have. And the reason why I chose them specific fights is Calic is probably the most similar in terms of, certainly at least dimensions, to Richards. So it will be no use using that fight against Bolotniks, because Bolotniks is not going to really fight like Richards. Likewise, some of the other guys that Joshua Buatsi has fought. And with Dimitri Bivol, I couldn't really find any clips of the other guy Richards fought there last October. But Bivol is elite level, we know that. But the mistakes are there. The mistakes are there for all to see, and I think that's a mistake. Bringing your jab and hand down low after your jab, which he has a good jab, he's a fast jab, but he just needs to bring that hand back up. because you're asking to get countered with an overhand right. Asking for it. So that's my pick on this fight. Let me know your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video. We're trying to be a bit more... I always try and give decent enough breakdowns, but we're trying to really get into the fight night details of these fights and just see, because honestly at the highest level it's little mistakes like that. It's little mistakes like bringing your right hand down, your jabbing hand down low, getting countered with the right hand that can cost you. You know, won't cost you British level potentially, won't cost you even at European level sometimes, but at world level, elite level as well. Obviously both guys aren't there yet, but you get the gist of it. Can't get away with it. Cannot get away with it. Cannot. That's my thoughts on this. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed the video, people. Smash the like button if you can. 7.5k. We're onwards to 8k. Let's do it. Peace.